So the next thing that I wanted to ask was about the political views. How important is politics in Mexico? How important is it in China? Can you talk about politics openly in China? Because I think it's like a monarchy. They call it a democracy, but it's not that open. So how is it different like that in the two countries?
Okay, so Mexico, sadly, is one of the most corrupt countries in the world. So talking about politics is a very common topic among your friends or about your family. Everyone has a different point of view. So yeah, politics are complicated here in Mexico. I would say because of especially for the drug cartels. So it's complicated situation. Politics is it's delicate, but I mean we're open to talk about it. And for example, I can relate it to China, where it's about communism. So they are not allowed at all to talk. Here, there's this free of press. Like you can express whatever you want. And for example, even with the social media in China, you cannot use social media. You cannot use Facebook. You cannot use Instagram. You cannot use any of the apps that.
Yeah, they don't exist, right? They don't let you use.
Yeah, so I think that has to do a lot with the government as well, because they are controlling everything. So you cannot criticize or be open about if you don't like something, you cannot criticize them. Or, for example, what's happening now in Hong Kong with all the protests of the students. I was stuck in Hong Kong, so right now China is trying to cover everything of what they're doing in Hong Kong. So I think it's very different. It's two extremes. I would say it like that. Like in Mexico, they are a
very political, very open about their views in politics. And in China, if you cannot carry the same mentality, you have to control yourself and not say things.
Exactly. Okay. You have to control a lot what you think, what you say, and also the government. It has control over. It has over control, and here the government has almost no control over population. Like it's two bad extremes, I would say.
Yeah, got it. What about history? Like, are people proud of history? How are these people doing? Is it open to talk about history? Are they proud of their history? Do they like discussing it in the two countries?
In Mexico, we have never been involved in big wars, for example. So I think history is more about this colonization from the Spanish. It's about a lot of politics in our history, about our indigenous groups before. So I think history is really something we're proud of. Like we are very open culture. We like to celebrate everything. So I think, history is not something we're kind of ashamed about. And regarding China, I think it's a lot about this communist, all these leaders that have changed the country. They are very proud to talk about their leaders who really made this China emerge before, because China before was nothing. And I think they're very proud, some of them, of their leaders or of their history.
What about public interactions, like the culture there? Like, how are people behaving in public in Mexico, for example, in a train? How would people be in a train in Mexico, and how would people be in a train maybe in China or on the streets? In the public area, is it different in the way one should be behaving in Mexico, different to China?
Yeah, and Mexicans, we can be very noisy. We can be very... we talk a lot in public transport, in the streets. So it's very noisy culture. We like to be talking. We're loud. We're a bit messy as well. But I think Chinese are more quiet, but they have not this social, like behavior. For example, when I was there, they do not respect the lines at all. They just get in front of you, like maybe that's not the way they're used to do it. They literally just go. They don't respect your personal space. We kind of do. Like we need some kind of space if you are in a public place in transport. And I think they don't respect that. So maybe for a Western or a person out of China can be shocking to this lack of personal space where you feel you've been invaded.
Yeah, got it.
And for us, we don't do that.
Mm, got it.